Welcome, everyone, to the Week 12 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gannon, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you haven't had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at JustSayingNoGWJS for article and video updates. Sunday late afternoon games kick off with the showdown in the NFC West division, with the San Francisco 49ers 4-6 heading off to LA to face the Rams at 7-3, who are undefeated at home thus far, looking to make it 5-0. Jack, what you got for us?
Oh man, that Rams defense looked really, really good last week against the Bucs in prime time. And it shows. This season, this defense, they're second against the pass, fifth against the run, second in points allowed. They're not even allowing over 20 points a game. But wow, 49ers, after everything we've talked about this year, all the injuries, the backup quarterbacks, George Kittle going down, they have really been fighting.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting some boosts. Mostert will be back this week. That's a huge boost. They're also beginning Tevin Coleman's going to be helping out this run game. Still no Jimmy Garoppolo, no George Kittle. So it's still going to be asking a lot out of guys like Ayuk and Bourne and Taylor and Deebo Samuel. So they got to step up. But I'm looking at this Rams offense and what they did last week. And they ran the ball terribly. They just did. That's just a fact. However, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods both had over 120 yards receiving and more than 10 catches each. This offense was flying when they were passing the ball. They were doing whatever they wanted up against a pretty solid Buccaneers defense. Really just worked them over completely. And it was really, really impressive. And I'm looking at the San Francisco defense and all of the missing pieces. And I'm just thinking that this is the game where the Rams continue to show us that they're a playoff team, and why Sean McVay was in the Super Bowl after a brilliant season of play calling, and why he's one of the best play callers. I think this is a really favorable matchup, and it's nice that the 49ers get Mostert back and Coleman. They got to deal with Aaron Donald, and they got to deal with the run defense of this team. And it's really good. It's ranked fifth. I think this is going to be a long game for the 49ers. I think the Rams are going to kind of have their way. A fun, interesting thing I saw was that I don't believe that Aaron Donald notched a statistical stat last week against the Buccaneers. No tackle for losses, no assists on tackles, no solo tackles, no sacks, no QB hits. That's going to change this week against Nick Mullins. I think he's going to get two to 2.5 sacks this game. Yeah. I think he's going to be hungry after being a disruptor last week.
Absolutely. And, Trey Hendrickson from the Saints actually had passed him last week in sacks. So he's definitely looking to get back up there. And, like you mentioned, the San Francisco defense, I just want to mention, they're ranked fourth right now in pass, 10th against the run, even losing, all those guys. Fred Warner and Eric Armstead are really keeping it together for these guys. I think they're going to affect the run game. But as you mentioned, This Rams pass offense is great. Last week, Cooper Kupp 11, 145. This guy all season he's been he's been the most underrated player. He's going to be a national name soon. He should be by now. San Francisco, I think they're going to put up a fight in this game, though. They've had three really tough ones: Seattle, Green Bay, New Orleans. Just not teams that you really want coming at you all the time. These last couple of games. So I think that it's just time for the Rams to take this one at home. I'm loving how Darius Williams is playing. I know we talked about Jalen Ramsey, but wow, he's making some incredible circus interceptions. He's got 4 picks already, 25 solo tackles, and Leonard Floyd as well, 7 sacks on the season. I'm liking the Rams in this one.
Yep, got to go with the Rams and trust that offense and defense can do. I agree.
Yeah, and now now we got Denver at home. We've been very shaky about them starting off the year with all those injuries, people coming back now, but they're 4-6 at home, and they are playing the Saints 8-2, top of the NFC, and they got their Swiss Army knife at quarterback while Drew Brees is at home resting his ribs. Taysom Hill, we didn't expect much last week, but what did we get, Chauncey?
I mean, he went 18 for 23, 233, no passing touchdowns, but 10 carries, 49s, and 2 score. Like, You can't really ask for much more of that. We didn't know what we were going to get. It could have looked like the Patriots team where they're running a lot more design runs. They chose to drop back and pass. Did see a few ugly deep passes by him, like that one to the wide open Emmanuel Sanders. You gotta hit the receiver in stride, not make him come back a few yards. But they got the win. That's what really matters. What I like seeing was Michael Thomas over 100 yards. He showed us why he's one of the best in the business. He's back. He's healthy. Taysom Hill's looking his way. I expect him to have another good game against the Broncos defense that surprised last week, did really well last week, and so did their offense here and there, especially running the ball. But this is a game for the Saints to really kind of show us what Taysom Hill can do again, show us why he's the quarterback of the future. They did sign him this offseason. And I'm worried about how Locke has been playing, 5 interceptions the last 2 games. And although the run attack of the Broncos picked up, we saw both guys over 80 yards, both Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon. Gordon got in the end zone twice. Saints run defense has been phenomenal this year.
Yeah.
They're only letting up 74.3 rushing yards allowed. It's the second ranked in the NFL right now. If they stop this Broncos running attack, I can't imagine what their passing attack is going to be able to do.
Yeah, I don't know. This Broncos team has been very shaky for me, like you said. Locke, 5 picks over the last 2 games. He's somebody that I really wanted to improve this year. He's one of the people that I even wrote that he'd be the second-year surprise. But I am, I'm leaning towards where you were earlier this year. I don't believe that he is going to be able to lead this team into a game like this and get the win, even at home. The Saints right now, when a guy like Drew Brees goes down on any other team of that caliber, you say, oh, my God, what's going to happen the rest of their season? Taysom Hill seems to be actually adjusting fine. We've seen him in games before, but never to the capacity we did last week. Michael Thomas, like you mentioned, looked good. But what I want to see here is the Saints defense. You mentioned their run defense has been phenomenal. 9 points given up last week. This is going to be a matchup that's going to hurt Drew Lock. I don't see Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler being a big weapon against this secondary. Malcolm Jenkins and Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, they actually look like a very solid core here. And, Cam Jordan, Hendrickson, these guys are getting it done on the front for the Saints. I'm going to go with them. I'm away.
I'm going to go with the Saints. So my one question for you, it was interesting to see this last week. Only the second time this season that Alvin Kamara did not see a minimum of 5 targets. In every other game, he's seeing 6, 13, 11, 8. Only last week he saw 1. Are we going to see 5 or more targets, or is Taysom Hill mainly looking at his wide receivers? Didn't really dump off to Alvin Kamara a lot, would instead tuck and run it. Are we going to see 5 or no?
Yeah, I think that the game plan last week was a lot of play action, trying to get the run game involved, and then trying to get Taysom a little extra space to throw. What I'm looking for here is for them to take advantage of this Broncos secondary with their receivers. But on those play actions, you can look out for those boots for Kamara. I think that him getting 1 target, every time we've seen him have a low target share, he has come back and had one of his bigger receiving games. So expect him, especially, with this Denver defense that's still a little banged up, I think Kamara can have a huge game in the receiving game and as well as the rushing game, obviously.
I like it, so I'll take over 5 for you.
I would say 7 would be
right.
I'm going to go with 7. I think that Taysom Hill is going to at least get pressured. Bradley Chubb still has is still very talented. This Broncos linebacking core is holding it down. The run defense, I think that he's going to be able to improvise this week and use Kamara a lot more in their game plan. And for the next matchup, we probably hear. I would say that this is game of the week. If Steelers Ravens was played on Thursday, I wouldn't be saying this, but Tampa Bay 7-4, Tommy Brady hosting Pat Mahomes, and Kansas City Chiefs 9-1. How are we feeling about this legendary game?
Yeah, it's getting there, I guess. He did beat him in the NFC Championship, and went on to win his 6th for Brady. It's kind of it has that. But this Tampa Bay team is not giving me a lot of confidence in what they can do. Tom Brady is not hitting the deep ball to his receivers. They're really struggling, and on the flip, Mahomes is very easily hitting the deep ball to his receivers, as we saw last week against the Raiders, pretty much every single game that he plays in. I'm worried about this game. I think one of the fun matchup to look is the Gronk-Kelsey matchup.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the old school best in Rob Gronkowski and this new age tight end, which are speed guys who really kill it. You think Kelsey's going to get more yards than Gronk?
I would say so. I think the way that Kelsey's playing this year, I think he's not only one of the best tight ends, he's the best. I don't think he's just bar none the best tight end in the league, but I think that give any given week this guy can get you 2 touchdowns over 100. Rob Gronkowski, I don't think he gets the amount of targets and the same volume, in this passing offense that Kelsey does. But I do like Gronk for a touchdown this week. I think that he can take advantage. I think that one of these always in these big matchups, Tom Brady will look for a big play from Gronk. It'd be fun to see that. One thing I want to watch though is Kelsey could maybe have a disadvantage. He has to go up against Devin White, the middle linebacker for second year out of LSU that we've talked about many times. In this Tampa Bay rush defense, only allowing 7 a game. These guys are no business. They're going to make sure that Kelsey is contained. Devin White, I think, is going to be on him all day.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be hard to throw against Devin White. He's definitely proving himself as one of the best young middle linebackers in the league, showing us why he was drafted so early on last year. This is an exciting game. I got to lean towards the Chiefs here, though. I think that what we've seen from them just year in and year out since Mahomes has taken control, what we're seeing this season, the ability to go downfield in a minute and score easily, to hit the deep ball easily, is going to work in their favor. I don't really like what the Tampa Bay defense has been doing the last couple of weeks. They got blown over last week in the passing game by the Rams, like we were just talking about a little bit ago.
Yeah.
How great Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods did. Now you got to go against Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, another tough matchup. And I don't like that. And I don't like that Tom Brady's not hitting the deep ball at all this year. It makes me really, really worried. And a lot of, questionables on Donovan Smith, an offensive lineman, Ellie Marpin, offensive lineman, A.K. Shipley's out, an offensive lineman. They're getting weak up front. Frank Clark hasn't had his best season. I expect him to have a bounce back game. Hopefully it's going to be this one against a weak offensive line. And Chris Jones is a dominant defensive tackle. If there's injuries across his offensive line, I expect him to get after Tom Brady, get in his face. If you get in Tom Brady's face, you make him a little bit rattled. That's when he starts to make a handful of mistakes, and you can really kind of turn the tide and let Mahomes just run up the score.
Yeah, I mean, with this one, I'm gonna go with the Bucs, and it's only because it's like we talked about with Aaron Rodgers. When you have a very veteran quarterback like Tom Brady, it's hard for me at home. Having the week for him to prepare. I think that he's going into this game seeing the mistakes he made last week against the Rams. Like you mentioned that we talked about that what they dealt with last week was a lot of passing volume, which was an issue for them. It could be an issue for them this week against Mahomes. I think that this presents a huge matchup for both offenses. I think that the secondaries here are, we're talking about the top scoring offense right now in the Chiefs and the 6th highest scoring offense in the Bucs. But what we saw out of Tom Brady when he had to really get it going last time was he had 3 touchdowns, 341 against the Panthers after that really bad game against New Orleans. And after that bad game last week against the Rams, I think that they take this one at home. I think Mike Evans is his guy. You can see that how he dominated on that touchdown last week. I'm going to go and take the GOAT at home.
Yeah, I still just got to go with the Chiefs. I love that offense. I just think it's going to be a kind of a lopsided game at some points. And if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not able to sustain drives, you won't necessarily be able to stop Mahomes. So you need to slow him down. The best way to slow him down is to make sure he's not on the field. So this offense needs to sustain drives, especially long ones. If it's just a touchback, you got to try to get in there. You got to get yourself within field goal range. Always got to be passing the 50, burning time off the clock. Because as we saw last week, you give Mahomes a minute 33 left and only a touchdown needed, he'll get it done easily. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's tough. It's going to come down to the wire. These are the 2 quarterbacks that you do not want to give the ball to last. And we see what happened when we gave Tom Brady the ball last in the NFC Championship, as you mentioned. Tom Brady beat Mahomes to get his 6th. Mahomes got his last year. These 2 guys coming in hot to this match.
That's all the time that we got. Everyone, hope you enjoy our game analysis. Enjoy the rest of the games. There should be some great ones, especially the Kansas City Tampa Bay one.
Yeah, always remember to check out Just Saying Football on YouTube, justsaying.com, justsayingfootball.com, and Just Saying No G on Instagram. Just Saying No G, WJS on Instagram for all your video and article updates. Thank you all for supporting, listening. Enjoy some nice Sunday football.
Enjoy.